NFT communities and how fast are they actually growing? What is going on, everyone? Welcome back on Block Gems. And today I want to discuss this question with you. How fast are the NFT communities growing when we look at the on-chain data, not just at the crypto Twitter chatter that we see on our Twitter feed? Now, before we jump into that specific question, I also wanted to provide an overview on the macro aspect. And what we're seeing from this chart is very simple. The volume of transactions on the secondary market is rather low, guys, and this is not the most bullish sign for the NFT space. We've been seeing also the price floor for many projects going down in the past few days, and all in the last 48 hours, 36 hours, you've seen a little bit of green for some projects, but in general, we have seen a lot of blood. And the reason for this can be traced in the rally that is expected for Ethereum and Bitcoin. So the consensus is that people are expecting Ethereum and Bitcoin to go up a lot. And so if they were exposed massively in the NFT space, they are reducing risk there and bringing their money, their liquidity into Ethereum and Bitcoin, expecting still very good returns for the kind of risk that they're taking, if not better. So this is the narrative at the moment. And so if we expect in the next few weeks Ethereum to rally very hard, then probably it is not the best idea to stay in the NFT space with large expositions. Now this is financial advice, you do you. However, the most logical thing to do, it would seem, to reduce the exposure in the NFT space if you expect Ethereum to rally hard in the next few weeks or few days. However, if you expect that Ethereum is not going to rally very hard, it's actually going to chill for the next weeks or so, then maybe this could be the best moment to start looking around for very good deals, because NFTs seem to be on discount. And the question is only if we will see this sales season to prolong and get even better prices going forward, or if this was the end of it. Now, despite this brief parenthesis around the macro perspective, I wanted to discuss these kind of charts with you guys. And these charts are around unique ownerships. And unique ownership is one of the best proxy, if not the best proxy, for growth of a given community. Now, despite how much noise you can see on a given platform, whether it be Discord or Twitter, one of the metrics that you really cannot forget, that you really have to take in consideration, is how many new users are coming, how many new owners, better said, many new owners are coming to this community. And here we have Bored Apes, and we see that they're constantly growing. Of course, the curve has this particular fashion. So the returns or the number of new owners decreases over time. So the growth of owners decreases over time. But this is because typically the tokens are becoming more and more expensive over time. This is what we've been seeing. And so the barriers to entry the community are also high, right? And are getting higher. So this phenomenon, this type of evolution of the curve, is something to be expected. It's something we will see on multiple collections. And in fact, I have prepared a couple of collections for you to look into. A similar scenario is also there for the Coolcats. Now, the Coolcats are almost an OG, or you can also call this project an OG of the space. And they've been capable of achieving more or less what the Bored Apes have achieved, but in a shorter amount of time. This I'm talking about in terms of unique ownership, of course. However, this doesn't mean much because it just means that they entered when the space was more mature, when people had a very strong appetite for this type of tokens. They knew what they were getting into, and so they were moving faster than at the times when the Bored Apes entered into the space. And one interesting fact here is that the curve is still rather steep, which in my opinion is interesting, right? Because they are scratching the 5,000 mark here with still an angle of attack that is interesting. It means that probably they might keep on growing further in terms of many new owners coming in. And this is a bullish sign, in my opinion. Why is this a bullish sign? You will have many more net promoters of that project. Imagine that every new owner has a vested interest in promoting that project, which means that we'll discuss it on Twitter, we'll post about it, and if he or she has some technical skills, for instance, or some creative skills, this person might also be willing to dedicate these skills to the project, right? So there are a multitude of ways that a person can try to better that project or try to improve that project over time. So having more people is definitely better for a given collection. So if we look at another chart, this is something that I found very interesting, guys, because this whole video started as me researching into the Lazy Lions to see if they were worth investing. And there were many bullish signs, but one thing that I really didn't like was this curve, was this chart here. We see that they were immediately above 4,000, and this is mostly because the minting rules were completely different for this project than for the previous two. In this case, you could mint only 20 tokens per wallet. So there was this restriction that created a much more equal distribution of the token from the outset, from the get-go already. And as the project evolved over time, I'm not seeing the growth that I was expecting. So what has this project done in the last month? This project went from 4,500 users to 4,600 users. So there was an uplift of 100 owners. I keep on saying users, but it's actually owners. That's what matters. And if you look at another project such as the Coolcats, at the end of September, we were at 4,650. At the beginning, like today, we are at 4,890. So this project is a much older project, much more expensive project, is seeing many new owners coming in. This must mean something, right? So this is something to look at. This is something non-trivial because it really shows how effective our community is in onboarding new people, in attracting new people to that project. Another interesting project is the Humanoids, and this is because it is affected, in my opinion, by a similar illness, a similar disease. Very strong ownership. You could mint only 5 of these per wallet. So of course they achieved a very strong distribution to begin with. But what happened after that? What happened the moment after they achieved this sort of distribution? They basically got stuck at those levels. And this is not great. Now, another project that I want to discuss with you guys is the Winter Bears. Now, take this chart, this specific chart, with a spoonful of salt, guys, because the data that I'm getting here is very much flawed. The problem is that for some reason the Etherscan API is not returning me the correct amount of owners. It should return me around 4,600 owners. So take this with a grain of salt, actually much more than that. So what we're seeing here, despite the inaccuracy of the data, is that this curve is very aggressive. So the angle of attack, the angle of the curve is still very strong, and it's not that flat, right? So this is a good indication, in my opinion. Now, do I own any Winter Bears? No, I don't. But this is, for me, a chart that invites me, that asks me to look further into this project, to understand what is going on into this project and see if it is really worth my research time. So this is also how I want to use this type of charts. There are so many new projects coming up. There are so many projects to begin with in the NFT space, and one cannot research qualitatively all of them. It is impossible. It's more than a full-time job. So using these charts could be an initial primer that might give you a hint, okay, what is worth looking into, what is worth looking at. Guys, if you like this type of charts, you will find them in the Discord. I will put the invite to the Discord in the description. Join the Discord. And in general, if you like this type of content, guys, please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, turn the notification bell on, and as usual, I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.